open this thing up now. Please help yourself. Look, in terms of air, oh, you know what? An extra little, there's a bit extra news for you. I managed to get air conditioning in there too.
All right.
It's been fixed. We now have aircon in room 20. Right, everyone, let's see if I can present this without any problems. Recording, okay. That's readable for you all? Good. That's, well, screens will be a bit small. Let me just make it a bit bigger than that. I'm trying not to get my ribbon out of the way. I need all the different boxes open here. Got some handouts for you too, okay? They're going to come to you later. And those of you who can't access your computers yet, I'll show you what to do when it comes to the practical activity. So I might suggest you just making notes, right, as I go through things. I'm also recording my lessons. I tend to record my lessons. And I have an audio file and a little video file available too from that. It's got standard practice here now.
How do you do that?
I'm using something called Zoom, actually. It's free. And an educational account costs about 10 quid per month. But it's really good at less. These guys benefit from that last year, just lesson capture standard now. Say you're a attendance coach, for example, you know, you can either be in it yourself as in video, or you can be off the screen and just have your screen filmed with your voice, which is just really helpful for students when they might miss a lesson. Okay, not that I encourage missing lessons. Yes. Yeah, we use WhatsApp as a. Yeah, we'll make sure we communicate quite regularly. So look, here's some new stuff. Some of you guys who were here last year, this is some new content for you too, right? This is about the CISCO's update on the what's happening in the careers in IT at the moment. And we have a roadmap, the qualifications to explain the question Wade asked me. And I'm gonna give you an overview of the main courses we have here, what's running at RACC. I'll show you on the website what we have. Take a break around, I think about 7:40-ish, 20 minutes. Then do something practical when we come back, nothing too heavy. And then time for questions and just advice and guidance. I mean, it's listed to finish at 9, but I think we'll probably be about 8:30 to 9, you might be getting a bit tired, right? Okay, so let's just see how it goes. Let me first begin with this presentation about the workforce and what's going on with IT in the world. So CISCO, first of all, are one of two, well, there's some very big IT companies. Can you shout out the big IT companies you've heard of? Who are the big ones that you've heard of so far? Oracle, yeah, massive. Okay, what else? Juniper, I've not heard of Juniper, but they're clearly big in your world, right? Who else we got? Yeah, Asian company, yeah, probably. Big IT companies, what have you heard of? You mentioned one earlier. Linux is not actually a company as such, right? It's made by different companies to produce their distribution of Linux operating system. But you mentioned what you were working on before in Microsoft is huge, right? It's probably the biggest one in the world, right? I'd say Microsoft's up there, number 1. What else you got?
I can't think of anything. Telnet?
Telnet is actually a type of software service. Yeah. Actually, it's more of a service, which a networking service actually that everyone has to include and be able to perform, like a protocol of being able to connect to a machine and give it some remote commands. Yes, it's not a company actually.
Who's a competitor to Cisco? Cisco's like the.
Yeah, sure. So Cisco is the leading. So I mean, in terms of Microsoft is well known for its desktop work, operating systems primarily. Okay, that's Microsoft's primary, and Office. Desktop systems and Office is the Windows PC is the Microsoft domain, right? In the networking world, there needs to be standardization. Without standards, we cannot make a global, what we call smart planet. Yes, that's what the aim of this stuff's all about. Trying to get the world interconnected through a grid of networking information. So the primary, leader of this is Cisco, and they have all the authorized training materials, but they're not the only one. There are Huawei does some of this stuff. Microsoft does its own stuff as well, networking. 3Com is another one. Okay, there are other networking companies, but Cisco is the primary leader of this stuff. No one actually mentioned Apple, by the way, which I'm really glad to hear. Funny, it's a joke. No, Apple obviously are a very big software company, but they have their own specialist proprietary stuff for Apple Mac. Okay, so Cisco has done some research on the workforce and how it's changing. Let's look at that together. So here we go. These are the kind of things that are getting big and popular. Oh, what happened to my presentation there? Let's move this up a little bit more. So kind of things, industries, right? IT is across all these fields. So although we think, jobs are, like you can become a doctor, for example, or a teacher or a journalist, all those jobs require some element of technical skill. To be a journalist nowadays, you have to be able to write, but also to do things wherever you go, right? Typing. No one's handwriting in journalism these days, right? It's all word processed, uploaded. People are streaming as journalists. They will be in some part of the world just sending a video from wherever they are. They've got to know their IT. Healthcare, doctors are using iPads, tablets, filling in systems. Administrations teams are doing it too. Government and finance, banks, as you guys know, in the banking industry, IT is essential for banking to be accurate, secure, fast, efficient, etc. It's all IT driven behind the scenes. So the idea here is that therefore cyber, or what we call online, and networking skills are needed everywhere. So in every industry, we have got some IT emphasis. And in terms of careers that have IT in them, there's no limit. So it says here, okay, that nearly every organization requires secure connection for some such type of success. So expertise of IT, and this is kind of, some of these terms might be new to you. Data center and computing expertise. This is like where you have large servers storing data. So like, where's a lot of data going? The college, for example, here, we have a lot of data. Year after year, students enroll. We have maybe 15,000 people going through us, We have to manage all that information. So we need to have a server and a data center to manage that stuff. Software programming, we have to create applications. CyberSecurity, we have to do things safely and securely as well. And mobility suggests that the need to have data and security wherever we go. IoT, who knows what that stands for?
Internet of Things.
Great, so that's the Internet of Things, which is what we call, it's like the Internet of Devices. So a recent article had an article where they're starting to put internet connectivity onto things like animals, right? And things like that, and objects that like shipping containers will have internet connectivity on them, or tracking of all things will start to happen, just tracking of things. So if you're a farmer with a huge number of cattle, yeah, you want to know where the cattle are in terms of predicting their movement and where they go, and just giving data for people like that too. So it's going to spread everywhere. Bear in mind the smart home, controlling the lighting, controlling the heating. All these devices get connectivity. This is a big area of growth. And beneath that is something called big data analysis. And big data analysis is where we take all this huge amount of data we're collecting and we provide some metrical information on it that is useful. E.g., a bank, for example, might have records of 1,000 customers, large hedge funds or large funds. An analysis can be taken place of which industries are the most lucrative for banks to get return of interest back on those particular investments, right? And then the data can be worked out to give you that information back. Service provider infrastructure, that is where we have, we provide the services for things. So internet is a well-known thing here. Internet provision is a service provision, amongst other. Then you've got enterprise architecture at the end there, which is our big companies need to have architecture inside them that is very specific to the business itself, yeah, with customization. So some of the job market insight, the market analysis confirms they're hearing this stuff from students, instructors, and employers. That's what they're trying to speak to. To remain relevant and competitive, we must move beyond the basic networking skills. Both IT skills and career skills are needed to find jobs. And students not only need the right skills, also they need some on-the-job training as well, and ways to connect with employers, so work experience, placements, and things like that. Which skills are most important to employers? They would say 61% are people skills. That's the majority of skill. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So people skills are those things that we're developing around working in teams, good communication, good management of relationships, people you work with, colleagues, that sort of thing. Leadership, being on, punctuality, all those things are really people skills. And then tech skills is the second thing after that. Technical skills are big, after people skills. And then comes social media is a smaller amount that also people think are important. So if you're looking to get skills, this is what you're looking at in terms of presenting yourself. Being good as a person, so personal skills, strong technical skills, and social media is something you all should have some awareness of. It's always going to give you some extra, leverage in a marketplace. Also, problem solving, the capacity to think critically, communicate clearly, and solve complex problems is more important than getting a graduate degree. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. And this is what you're looking to get your practice on. So how students learn, they not only learn technologies, but working with it on a team, helping others, and looking at the individual strengths. IT, this is for the United States, by the way, but it's not massively different from the UK, really. This is the US employment predictions. This is what's predicted as being what we need, okay? Network administrators is big. Systems analysts, support specialists, security analysts, and network architects. And all IT, everything is a plus here by 2020. What do you think is one of the reasons why there's so many jobs needed in IT globally? What's the reason IT has to play in this? Why is IT so important in globally at the moment? Yeah, that's one side of it. That's one side of it. But what does IT do to a business? What does IT do? How does it change things?
More efficiency.
Efficiency is a key thing, right? So it's efficiency.
It's fast, accurate, and save time.
Yeah.
Working in very quick way.
And therefore, in any situation, in a global situation where the economy is very, very fluctuating, when people are trying to save money or look for more efficiency, they'll seek to technology.
Yeah.
An example is the National Health Service has a huge backlog in terms of debt, in terms of financial challenge, and they can see it's getting more and more complex. So IT therefore plays a role in reconfiguring and re-engineering the structure of things to make them more efficient. And banks went through huge changes with IT in those times too. So therefore, you can assume that IT is one growth area for employment in the future, quite certainly. Now, okay, in terms of these skills gaps, another challenge is this: we have an issue of skills gaps. Graduates come out of universities, okay, and then jobs are available, but they don't necessarily match. So, some degrees don't give the right skills. Come in. Should be open. Yeah, it should be open. Ha ha.
I'm sorry, Mr.
All right, take a seat, log in, and we just roll with us. Take a seat, so it's fine. Well, here we are.
I don't know.
Well, here we are. Take a seat. We're going to roll with it.
spoke to Will downstairs.
Oh yeah, all good. Take a seat. We're just going for a presentation now, so I'm just presenting. Okay. Right. So we go here. As you can see, there's a supply of graduates, and the jobs available are not matching. So there's a skills gap. So what the graduates have is not necessarily what the industry needs, right?
I heard,
Yeah.
you've heard of CBT nuggets?
Yeah, it's like an online training,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I was looking into that, and I listened to one of the guys saying that you'd rather have qualification like a CCNA than go to university.
Right.
We found that through like a CCNA qualification, we found that they give you better quality of information compared to
Sure.
uni.
Sure, really. Yeah, in terms of what's relevant to the industry is the key thing.
Yeah, 'cause I
See,
was-
You're right. The other issue is they obviously refresh their curriculum very quickly. Cisco's changed recently to version 6 that updated their curriculum. But what universities and academic institutions tend to do is they make you achieve learning outcomes that are much more abstract than actual concrete industry outcomes. Yeah. So when you're learning something, it's about learning about for example, I've got one unit I teach in my advanced computing course in the daytime here. We have a course called Access for people to get into university. And all it is, it just says explain, 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 explain. It's all about networking. And nowhere in that whole thing is it about doing it, networking. We're never actually doing any networking. We're just only explaining what things are. So they do is write a big essay at the end of it all, and that's that, right? So the academic world is a bit out of sync with the vendor qualification world. Okay, so much value is in these vendor qualifications, not just Cisco, but all the ones that are out there. Okay, cybersecurity, this is another area, right? They suggest that half applicants for open security jobs are qualified. Only 1 in 2 people is qualified to do cybersecurity work, the rest of them aren't. And companies take more than 6 months to find qualified security candidates. It takes them more than 6 months to find someone. 1 in 2 companies. It takes ages to find the right person. They're very much in demand. Rate of cybersecurity jobs 3 times increased. Okay. And the global shortage is 2 million by 2019. So you are sought after if you're a cybersecurity specialist. Okay. Now, let's go to some more. That's the most recent stuff. This is just, some American information about people who get industry certifications do get increases of pay. Like this is what in the United States. IT people who are qualified with certain industry certifications tend to earn more than those who aren't. And in terms of the kind of salaries they get in the US, sorry, it's still very US centric, but in dollars, this is the kind of types of qualification and earning potential they have as they develop their careers. Yeah, and I'm going to go over the roadmap for these, what these courses are about. Bear in mind, this is CCENT, CCNA, CCNP, and CCIE. This is the top echelon of, it's like a PhD in networking, but not quite a PhD, right? This is the expert level. Okay, one for you, Barbie, to go for, CCIE. Right, okay, so they will also say Cisco certified professionals earn more in general, and this is the kind of salary expectations in the US. I mean, this currency might change now in terms of the inflation and so on, but generally you can see how in terms of the job titles, how they increase. So often people start, one of my first jobs was when I left university, I had a year out in my 3rd year, and my first job was a PC technician for the first 3 to 6 months, and I just learned about hardware, and we were installing Windows. What version was it? Gosh, it might have been XP back then.
Not 98.
It might have been 98 actually. Yeah. Making me think now. It might have been 98, and then 2000 came out. I was like, wow, Windows 2000 was it. It was a big change. And it was installing that for people, and they're getting really annoyed with it. That was then. And then you go into help desk support. So your PC technician is frontline. You fix PCs and you fix issues. Help desk is you're on the phone and you do more complex stuff. That's a bit more behind the scenes. And you've got desktop support analyst. And what you do is you also respond to queries, but you remotely access their machine, the desktop, and you can fix stuff by looking at their screen and going through it. Then you've got a network administrator who administers a network, not the same as a manager. Network administrator will go to a machine and configure it and configure the devices to make the network work. Yeah. And the network manager manages a number of administrators and this whole team of IT people in the different jobs they do. Okay, so that's like a typical IT infrastructure for a company. Right, let's talk about now the certification and career paths. So here we've got, let me just zoom in on this a little bit. Oops. Let's zoom in here. And let's look at the certification and career paths. So Wade asked a question earlier about what these things are all about. So the way it works is this thing here, this like question mark going down, is like deciding which career path to go into. And with just the Cisco area alone, there's much, it's very rich in terms of what's in there. You've got wireless network, voice, storage, security, design, and service provision. All of these courses have one thing in common. They all have CCENT as the starting point. Okay. Once that's completed, you have then options to progress. At the college here, we do CCNA, okay, which is 3 and 4 here, and we also do CCNA security in summer. Okay. So CCENT can go either CCNA or CCNA security, or there are other options. I've had people who worked in those mobile companies before, and various other telecommunications company are looking for things like CCNA wireless or voice. Yeah, that's other pathways you can go down. Once CCNA is finished, most people then will look at doing a more standard qualification called CCNP, which is the standard Cisco certified network professional route. Yeah, but it's not the only one available. If people want to go into voice or wireless, there are also the P's available there too. Yeah, bear in mind, some of them require you to have CCNA voice beforehand. CCNA P requires you to have CCNA. That's the difference. Security, this is the big demand area. CCSP requires you to have CCNA security, and CCENT, not CCNA. Yeah. Okay, so security is a much, it's a bit of a leaner path, because once you know about routers and switches, you don't need to worry about CCNA 3 and 4 about connecting networks together, big networks, and scaling them. Yeah, and making bigger infrastructure. So securities are not really concerned about connecting and scaling. It's more about working with just routers and switches and getting good security on just those devices alone. Yeah, there's nothing that in the content to cover that. Okay, higher up than that, further beyond that, you've got the IEs. These are the experts. This is the people who've been doing it maybe 5, 10 years, and they've got the highest level of expertise in those areas, and they're all expert level. All right, now, in terms of content, what I'll do is, I want to just talk to you about the kind of what's in these courses and just explain so that they're clear how they're separated. So, first of all, CCENT, which the college does, we're doing that course on a I'll go for evening right now. Wednesday evening, yeah, between 6 and 9:30, starting after half term, around end of October, start November. It's when that course starts. It lasts 23 weeks, yeah. So any of these courses, if you want to get information about them, let's just bring this up. Go to the college website, and just I made it very easy. All you've got to do is go here and then type in Cisco, and that's it. Like a search engine, then you're going to get back all the Cisco results. So there's your CCENT. So those you're looking at entry level, you go into here. That's the entry level. That's what Ruby and Stuart did last year. And the CCNA, we have discounted that now by popular demand. So I've just brought the fee down for that one. So this starts in September. That's the progression level. And we also have a few daytime courses too. Friday in April, you can do this one. And I don't mind taking on people who are finishing CCENT or 3 and 4 for that daytime course. There's the fee for that one. It's 12 weeks and it's quite intensive. And then hardware, and then also we now have a daytime course too, also by demand, which is also with a concession on it. If you're earning below a certain salary and you're full time, or if you're claiming any benefit or you're on a concession, that's our daytime course. Okay, that has a free option too. And this is just, it's different. No, it's just Tuesday daytime. Yeah, just Tuesday. Is related. It's actually linked to this one. So I'm going to explain now that the hardware course is this Cisco networking, and then there's something called Cisco IT Essentials. Okay, and if you think about networking being what we call level 3 advanced, level Cisco hardware is level 2 intermediate. Okay, and people are recommended if they have the capacity to learn both of those things, because hardware, I'll show you the curriculum very shortly, is a very useful course. And if you're looking to become an IT support and networking technician and doing both things, it's a great opportunity to do both those things. Because this course has got a concession on it. It's also funded, so it means the fee is a lot less too. If you're paying fees, it's a much reduced fee. This course is Cisco IT Essentials, which we call is mapped to the A+, CompTIA A+. And what you probably couldn't see earlier, I think I've taken this off actually, up here on the roadmap, up here, it just says Network Plus. Yeah, you can see I've taken off there's also one here, which is the A+, which is the CompTIA networking. It's the hardware course, only hardware. Yeah, and I want to go with that, give you some information about that shortly. So there's the what the courses are that are available. And if you want to enroll on these courses, I might recommend that you, given that enrollment might be closed soon, you might want to come back to our open day tomorrow between 4 and 7. And I'm going to obviously let you think about it, as well. So you've got some time to think about things. So between 4 and 7 tomorrow, we have an open day. And I'm just interviewing people that turn up and sorting them out and giving them their signed forms. And they can talk to the finance team about financial options. So there you go. There's the different courses available.
So I can ask a question?
Yeah, please.
I'm a bit confused. I read you do RCVN1, RCVN2,
Sure.
and then you've got your CCNA.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. Exactly right.
So what is CCNT?
So here's how it gets explained there. See, look on the screen over there. See, CCENT is CCNA 1 and 2. Modules 1 and 2, okay? So CCNA itself is actually 4 modules. The whole thing is 4 modules, okay? CCNT cuts it in half. Yeah, they decided, Cisco realized that actually maybe we should divide this into 2. CCENT is just half of the CCNA, the first, like part 1, you can say. And that part 1 is an exam called ICND1. You see here, it says the exam, ICND1. And the experience level of years of working in IT, 0 to 2 years of working with it as well. It's good to have that experience. And that's what's taught in that time. Okay, so our first Wednesday night course is that stuff. just that. Yeah. All right. And then the next one, which is what these other guys are interested in doing, this is the CCNA 3 and 4. It expects you to have, okay, the prior attainment, which is all this stuff here.
Yeah.
That's what your part 1 is. And they will learn about part 2, which is LAN switching, routing, WAN, infrastructure, and maintenance. Yeah. And administrators are at the bottom there. Kind of job role for. This is a different exam called ICND2.
And it's to the version 6.
Version 6 is our curriculum. That's correct. Yeah, we've moved across to the new one now. Just so you know, they changed and updated our curriculum from about 2 years ago because they realized that the content was out of date and had very little content on the internet, you know, and this whole Internet of Things stuff, and also what we call VPNs, virtual private networks, not covered sufficiently. Virtualization, one of the things have massively grown recently, so they have updated those things now. Okay.
Is it true that OSPF, I don't know what it is,
Yeah,
has been taken off RCD?
you've done your homework, haven't you? Done your homework, haven't you? OSPF is a networking protocol, and it has been reduced, diminished on the. It's not in the not in the first one at all now. CCNT. They put something called BGP in, which is a protocol for the internet. That's what powers the internet, the BGP protocol. All right. So ICND2. Now, what are these exams? These exams are something you take in an external testing center. I will give you, if you come onto our course, you'll get from me the CISCO certificate, and I'll give you the PDF and a printed version of it. And that's CCNA 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And you also get a letter of merit if you get a higher score. That's what I provide. And then if you want to do the external exam, because we're not a test center officially here, if you pass 1 and 2, you get some kind of a discount. Do you guys get that discount after 1 and 2? How did it work? What actually happened? Did you get some kind of like Mickey got that, didn't he? Mickey got it. Yeah, you would have got it because you finished it. Yeah. Yes. It's sufficient to have this, isn't it? I mean, employers will say CCNA 1 and 2, which is what I give anyway. And if you want to get the external exam, then you'd go and take that test,
So
ICND.
Recognized by CISCO.
Yeah, some people
So
recognize
you
it.
get like a special number that lasts for 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, but some employers don't realize that CCNA 1, 2, 3, 4 exactly the same. You know, and that's sufficient for them. As Ruby said, job applications. I mean, when I was looking at jobs, I could see CCNA coming up. Just that was sufficient. So you don't have to have ICND 1, but when you go to the higher levels, like say associate or CCNP, then those things become more important. You know, particularly if you're managing a team of administrators, and they're also going through the training, they would expect you to have something higher than they have.
Just so if I wanted to have my CCNA qualification and then deviate to security, cybersecurity, I would need to do that exam externally.
Oh, for security, actually, CCENT.
Oh, sorry, you said you only needed to do the.
Just 1 and 2 with me is enough to go into my security.
Well, let's say something else where I needed CCNA externally, I would have to do that externally. And
it's always case by case. This one, every employer would still, respect the fact you've already got CCNA 1, 2, 3, and 4 anyway. Without you having like it's exactly the same stuff. So they go, oh, this guy's good enough. As long as you've got some work experience to go with it, or something practical to go with it, you'll be all right. Yeah. Okay, that's good stuff. So good questions. Thank you. So 3 and 4 is this content on the right-hand side over here, and I've got an information sheet I'll give you which explains it in even more detail if you want that. Right, on to the hardware one now, which is the one in the IT Essentials curriculum. Let's talk about what's in this. So IT Essentials, really, it's very much up-to-date curriculum again on hardware and software to some extent. And if people want to know how do things actually really work inside, behind this plastic stuff, what's going on inside these machines, really. And you get some very cleverly designed curriculum materials to give you virtual laptop, virtual machines, that you can do things with electronically rather than having to break your own machine at your PC at home. Many students do like that hobby of breaking. Anyone else? Anyone into that here? breaking their PC and fixing it? No? Was that a hobby that I should? Yeah, and how was it, Song? What was the reality that happened? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Sure. Qualified Cisco. Yeah. So you can fix it, like fixing the memory or something, or hard disk. Yeah. Great. That's good stuff. Some of you got laptops, some of you got desktops. You need to do things like change the memory, or upgrade the RAM. How about any experience with hardware here, folks? Oh yeah, yourself. SSD. Nice. That's the fiddly bit. Yeah, yeah. You got SSD drive to get faster. They helped. Really fast. Wow. Okay, great. No, they're how much are they now? So the price has now dropped to what hard disks used to cost. Yeah, like a Seagate or something like that. That's pretty good. Great stuff. Ruby, hardware experience? No, not done any hardware inside a machine repair. Maybe the monitor wasn't plugged on. Yeah. Everything else to go with it. Okay, Hussein at the front has joined us now. So how about you? Any experience with hardware?
Yeah, I went back to college. I did my degree quite a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Sure.
I went back to London Electronics College. I did some lab work because I wanted to go on a postgraduate degree. I keep promising myself to go on a postgraduate.
Yeah.
And I went. So the course was a diploma in electronics and electronic engineering maintenance.
Sure.
I
Remember that, yeah.
So in a workshop environment, it was okay. Because it helped me review what I
Sure.
did, but in terms of, but mainly on not de-assembling assembly, rather fault finding, really.
Oh, troubleshooting.
Troubleshooting, yeah.
That's good.
That's I don't mind, but taking taking part
Yeah.
easy, but I have to do it in a work environment. Oh yeah, we did some actually with some PC, putting it together.
Good.
Taking it apart, but
Good.
in a work environment, in a workshop. Really.
Okay, yeah, but especially it's always better in a work. I wouldn't be doing it in a work environment. It'd be a bit risky. That's good. Thank you. Yeah. Need someone to, someone's got to fix it, indeed. Okay, thank you. Let's go and see Mr. Mirza. Hardware experience. You had any experience with hardware? Any experience with hardware?
No.
No? So you're new to fixing PCs or something you've never had to get involved with? Okay, good. And
I think I better learn quite a lot.
sure. Yeah.
Later, because I learned a lot.
It's a lot to go inside a machine for anyone. It's very much, quite intimidating what's inside these things. Well, I got a soldering iron burn on my arm when I was about a teenager doing this stuff. Still here now, years later. This is what can happen if you're not careful. Wait.
Yeah, when I was younger, I had my own PC and we built our own PC.
That's great. So you had that's fantastic. So you've got proper experience. That's great.
So
Yeah, very good.
years ago.
Yeah, it hasn't changed that much actually. All you've got is the SSDs and more faster graphics cards. Otherwise, infrastructure is the same. Motherboard, RAM. It's not changed so much. And maybe the SATA and the type of hard disks are changing too. Okay, so that's great. You've got some experience there. Anyway, with this course, it's got computer and mobile devices. So it talks about both things like tablets and phones too. Operating systems, a bit of networking, a bit of IT security and troubleshooting. Content, new topics in terms of certification changes include the Windows Phone, Mac OS X. Linux is in here. Motion sensors, touchpad, smart card readers, Windows 8 8.1, data centers, cloud computing. This is all updated curriculum. Yep.
Say if I bought the book, CCNA,
Yeah.
will that be in there?
No, not the CCNA book. This is the Cisco IT Essentials I'm looking at now. Yeah, this is the hardware course. Different companion guide for that. But there's obviously books out there for it. Yeah, any A+ book or IT Essentials book will cover the curriculum. Yes. Indeed. So yes, you can do it yourself. Benefits for students in terms of what they can get. It helps them prepare for the A+ exam, which is the external exam. So like ICND 1 and 2 for CIS networking, it's called A+ CompTIA for hardware. That's the internationally recognized vendor. Okay, so if you do IT Essentials, approximately 80% of that curriculum content is the same as A+. Yeah, so I advise you to get an A+ book, just a companion guide, just gives you a bit more extra information, revision tips, and then you can go for the A+ too. Yes, daytime. That's right. It's daytime. It's with concession as well, so it's reduced fee. It's a good course to do. Yeah. Okay. So this is a very much similar type of stuff for Cisco in terms of content. Classroom, there's labs, workshops, and then there's online materials too. All Cisco stuff has online materials.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Computing access level 2 covers some of that.
Access.
During the entry level, not the computing level 2 IT.
Yes, that's the one. That's the course I'm referring to now. Yeah.
It covers some of the CompTIA A+.
Yes,
right?
a good 3/4 of it. Yeah, a good 3/4,
so
if
you
not
go
more.
on one or the other. You don't have to go on.
Yeah, indeed.
You said you told me.
For the Cisco IT Essentials, if you could attend sometimes, you could get away with it.
No.
For enrollment, interesting idea. It's an interesting idea. That's something I'll look into. If you can't make Tuesday because of the day, because it hits work clash, I could look into that. Maybe the fee would be the same, but you'd have to be allocated a tutor, and it would be Judy, the other networking person I have here, and she would be or either one of us, and there'll be someone who's mentoring you to go through the chapter test. But you can do it all online. Yeah, you can do it all entirely online. The only thing is, that course daytime is not just this to do. You have to also do some assessments as well, coursework that are assignments you have to do, and they are like based on your Cisco materials. That's how it's funded, because it's got a qualification inside it, academic level 2 qualification, so a certificate, a new one.
I might attend Tuesday. What I meant was like, you suggested like tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, enrollment for daytime courses. That course starts on the 18th. So all I have to do is give you an enrollment form signed by me, actually. And then you can enroll anytime you want before that start date. Yeah, you can come whenever you can and enroll. It takes. I'll sign it for you, and then you can just take that away with you. Yeah, remind me in the lesson to give you an enrollment form. Okay. So here we have the who should enroll and the who's recommended. So it's people seeking career-orientated exams, hardware and software skills to prepare for careers in technical support roles in IT. Any job in hardware or technical support requires people to have the IT Essentials. Okay, you'll see it advertised very clearly. They either want A+ or IT Essentials equivalent. Okay, it's a requirement. Also because of health and safety reasons too. People who are not qualified to do that work, working with very complex electrical equipment, it is a little bit dangerous also. If you're working with live electricity and there's things like that, they can go very, very funny. Okay, students at school do it, high school, universities and technical schools, and also adult colleges like us, and universities are offering this course too. Also for your own benefit, for yourself, being able to fix your own PC, assemble your own PC has also benefits in terms of saving money, and troubleshooting, you become the family IT expert. Now that requires also a lot of patience. If you become the family IT expert, you can expect everyone to ask you to fix their problems, and before you know it, you are on emergency phone line support. Okay, now course proficiency. This is about the difficulty of the courses. Hope this is clear enough to read. It's quite bright, I'm sorry. You see the entry level here going upwards. IT Essentials is down here, but now here you can see all the other courses you'll have access to on the Cisco Academy. When you become a student at the college and you join the Cisco Academy, I also can give you some free courses. I like giving out free courses that are also available. So with things like Linux is on here. A Linux Essentials is a free course. Yeah, you did it, finished it. Was it good? Oh, great, well done. And you went through the whole thing through Cisco Academy, and it just went through certified. You can download your PDF. Oh, go to your dashboard. It'll be in there. Yeah, go to your dashboard. These are all the courses you get for free. And you've got Internet of Everything, entrepreneurship, like self-employment is in here, internet cybersecurity. There's tons of stuff that's really useful. Okay, course design. And I can send you this you'll get this sent to you by email, this presentation, by the way. Okay, now onto the course design. So as I was saying to you, they've updated the hardware. Every few years they refresh their curriculum, which is a great thing about CISCO. They've refreshed it for 2015. There's 2 parts of the exam, 901, 902. The exam top, oh, this has got very grayed out. I'm editing it on the fly here for you. So what's changed and is updated? Mobile device coverage, troubleshooting, operating systems now include Android, iOS, and Windows, and Mac, and Linux, which is great, and more cybersecurity. And look at the weighting of how they spread out the kind of knowledge stuff. Yeah, a lot on hardware there. They've also included this other stuff in too, which is really useful. IT Essentials 6 course design. We have the content, how it's done. So a lot of online materials. This is how the CISCO Academy looks. When you access it, you can look inside it, and there's loads of resources. I might be able to show you around that in a minute when you come back off the break. Show you around the different chapters, and you can see a lot of interactive activities there. Packet tracer activities, hands-on paper labs. You also have a skills assessment and a final theory test. Okay. Plus you get videos and chapters, and it's basically an entire online resource for learning is there. The teacher's role is to help you understand it and guide you through it and give you motivation, encouragement, push you through and make you challenge yourself through what my role is as a teacher. But in terms of the actual resources, I'll give them to you in bite-sized essential format. You'll have 4 hours at least more of stuff on here to go and learn more about what I've been talking about in lesson. Okay, there was a bit more behind what I'm teaching.
We need to go and buy the books.
It's not essential. Everything is actually in here electronically. The book is for those who prefer having a book to refer to, because sometimes it can be a bit fiddly following instructions and then doing the same thing on the same PC. So it gets a bit weird, right? So I would recommend people have a tablet or some kind of device to read through some of the materials while doing it on the PC. The tablet is used to access all the CISCO materials, and some students prefer to have the physical book companion guide, and they just like that kind of book approach because they can mark it and do stuff with it. Yeah, so up to you really how you prefer. All right, CISCO curriculum content. Let's look at this. There you go. This is the ITE content updates. ITE 6 is the curriculum changes. 2 more chapters added, and we've got this big chunky section on mobiles, been enhanced. We've got an applied networking section, which is new, and a Windows config and management section. Windows has been through so many changes recently and upgrades, so that's also now been included. Here's a course outline. So every week you have another chapter, 1 to 14. That's what you go over. This is all pretty relevant there, isn't it? 14 chapters. And these are the kind of outcomes you're going to get at the end of the course. I'm going to give you a printed version of this in a short while. So installing, upgrading, repairing, troubleshooting, OS, configuring a basic network, troubleshooting, printer sharing, even looking at other operating systems, and then cloud services is also in here too. So I'm now going to give you some more information is available online about all this stuff. I want to give you a little sheet now. These are the instructor resources here, actually. You don't need to worry about that bit. They've got some virtual learning tools this year in the hardware course. You get a virtual desktop and virtual laptop, so you can break these things as much as you want and restart them. Good, isn't it? Here's a virtual laptop. Great, isn't it? And you go inside it and you can do stuff inside the laptop. And you go through self-checks for understanding. This is probably the most sophisticated online materials I've ever seen in terms of how they're designed. Aiming in how you can actually install it without even touching a device. And you also can do that cabling and that sort of stuff. Very, very useful. So we've got a break in a little while. And before that, I'm going to give you a little handout on the hardware course and the technical course. So I've got 8 copies of this. Here's the CCNA routing and switching. Thank you. Yeah, I'll give it to you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you're ready. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. guys that. Obviously, very important for you. And then we have the IT Essentials, which is a single sheet, version 6, impact class info sheet there. And one of each, yeah, there you go. There's your essentials there. That's the actual essentials. Your hardware, yeah. Because when we have break now, those of you who have not got access, I'm now going to give you how to access. Yeah. Bongo, can you come here a second, please? Can you bring with you a pen and paper? Bring a pen and paper with you, please. So, if I give you a number, this is your number, okay? This number here, 202684. Can you write it down, please? Yeah, I know you in your break times, right?
I'll catch you in a cutaway.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, mate. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, cheers.
Drop me a line anytime.
Yeah.
Okay. You go right. This is fine. You pick up an enrollment form, please.
In the
In the
reception.
Sorry, it could be convenient that way. Yeah, cheers.
This is my
Yes,
username.
20264. What you need to do is, can you type it as your username, and your password is like this, yeah? Date of birth. All right. Wade, come over, please. Got pen and paper, man. You got a pen. All right. Take the pen. Borrow mine. I'm gonna tell you what your thing is. Your ID is at number there. Yeah. Read it out. And your password is DDNNYYYY. All right. Right. Then give the next man. Say, try and log in if you can. It should say your name like welcome Wade. It will recognize you. Okay, the same. Let me give you your ID as well. Okay, I'll write it down for you. How are you? You okay?
Yes, fine, thank you. Sorry,
We'll catch up. Don't worry about it. It happens.
I was doing maths and English. I wanted to get to do the level 2.
Oh
I
yeah.
was practicing. I you know,
You don't have a
I'm very math oriented. You know, I
I
know
saw
this
your
is
maths
not.
over there.
You know, I'm sorry to discuss this. Yeah, it's not relevant. Yeah, it's not so relevant. When it comes, is there any IP addressing you do?
Yeah,
You
you'll see it in here. Okay, so now you see your login. Can you try and log in, please?
Oh,
I want you to go and type this as your username. This is your password. It's your date of birth in that format.
Okay, okay.
Try it once. If you get any problem, you need to call me. It will lock you out if you get it wrong.
Oh, right. Okay, okay.
All right. Okay.
I wasn't thinking the 19 digits.
Yeah, DDMM. So for me, I'm 1970, whatever. Right? 197. Full year, yeah, 4 digits. Mr. Mirza, can I give you your ID, please?
Okay.
You come over, I'll write it down for you.
Sure.
That's Mohammed, your first name.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you living local, Mohammed?
Yeah, I live in Wimbledon.
Fairly local. Thanks for coming.
No, it's,
First time you at the
not
college?
very far.
You come
Yes.
before?
No, this is my first time.
First time.
And since I met one of you in the chat.
Yeah.
And because he's working in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And I was interested in it. Otherwise, I was not very keen on it. I thought it was better than something.
Cool.
And usually this type of business avoid. And he's running a good position and all that. I thought, I mean, if I guess what I bring a little bit of easy that.
Cyber is security is very important for personal reasons. And you know, if you use IT to do online shopping and those sorts of things, and using more online stuff like passwords and those things, is to know a bit about how you can protect yourself from any fraud or those sorts of issues. That's why it's important for the personal user. I know, obviously, in a professional capacity, if you haven't got IT experience before or knowledge of IT, then you know you can look at some of the introductory courses.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But which is better to start from scratch.
Yeah, we have courses. I'll show you a couple in here that are good for that, depending on your level.
No,
So I might suggest
I'll
you.
start from the
Yeah, of course, and everyone does, you know, anyway. So what I'll do is I'll give you this here, page 26. And these are all our basic courses, the beginners ones, right?
No,
And I would suggest maybe look at these ones, beginners and improvers, and just see what your level might be.
Yeah.
If you find these are too easy for you, then tell me and I'll suggest something else.
no,
If they're too hard, then
no, I think start.
this is a good start. This is our
Yeah.
first course we do here. And it's a daytime course.
Yeah.
And we have that one or that one, timing wise.
Okay.
And then they go on to improvers after that and they can develop. Good. That's your guide there. Any course you can read the course code.
Yeah.
Go to the website
Yeah.
and type in the code. Looks like that. Every
Okay.
course has a code.
Yeah.
Type it in the code and you can read about it.
No.
Here is how you log into your PC.
No.
That's your username.
Yeah.
Your password is like this. That's your date of birth. So your date of birth, you type it in that way, that format. 8 digits.
Yeah.
Year is
And
full.
that's the password.
Yeah, no, that's your username.
Users.
That's the password. So it's a bit like whatever your date of birth is, like
Yeah, yeah,
1202,
Yeah,
19,
yeah.
like that, okay?
Okay.
And see if you can log in okay. And if not, let me know and I'll help you.
No.
Okay. You're all sorted out, I think, now.
Okay.
Good. Hussein's recognized. It's logged in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question. On the front, there's a little button you press that gives you the. I'll help you out. There you go.
Okay. There.
Take that box here. It's about servers of. Okay. Nice.
I didn't know you have HP monitor, you know?
Special big monitor.
This is HP.
Big screen on it. But this is our system.
You know, I pressed this first. I pressed that one.
Yeah, it's a powerful monitor.
For the monitor. I shouldn't have done. I should have pressed that first, right?
Oh, so good start.
No, I thought they were always on. You know, I mean.
Oh my god, yeah, this is not gonna work. This is Outlook, right? This is our college Outlook. And we haven't got email signed. Not signed yet, no. They will give us an announcement about it this term and tell us what's happening. Oh, I need to get some hot water. Right, for my tea. So folks, if you bear with me, please. I'll put one of you in charge of the room briefly, please. Just hold on. I won't be long now. I'm going to get a drink very quickly. Get my tea filled up, and I'll be right back. The break I started at about 35 past, I think. So I'll be back in about 10-15 minutes, and we'll start again in say certainly by 5 to 8 or so. Yeah, we'll start again. So and then when you come back afterwards, we're going to be doing this stuff. A bit of theory and activity and some questions and answers. So 7 5 8 is good. Okay.
When did you send your required software changes?
I just ignore it, mate. Yeah, just ignore it. Bypass it. Yeah. Oh, that was great. Oh my god. I gave you 3 enrollments.
No, I didn't ask them. I just moved it.
Well, is that yours? Is that
I
yours?
wish.
Is that yours?
No, only this one.
Serious learning. Really learning. Right. There it is. Can you look up the course code for me?
Here.
Yeah, I can't let that leave that line around.
Is there here?
No, this is actually in here. It's just